welcome to Güera's World. Today is November 7th. It's Wednesday, 2018. It's like evening time, and I've been thinking about the elections that happened yesterday. It's like a nice-ish feeling. So pretty much what's going on, we had American elections on Tuesday, November 6th, 2018. Feels good to say 2018 because like I've been saying it all year, but looking back on other years, like 2018 is way better, but we still have a ways to go. So 2 years ago I made a video reacting to the 2016 presidential election, and I will link that below. Actually, I would describe myself as like a progressive. Like when I first registered to vote, I registered as a Democrat because I'm kind of like very liberal, if you want to make it on a scale like that. I don't like calling myself liberal though, because most liberals I don't really agree with per se. Like I would rather the term leftist, but ultimately I'm just progressive. Like I just want change, and that's ultimately what liberal means. So people who are conservative, you know, that like they would want to keep things the same, whether they're archaic or not. This election, this is the midterm 2018 election. Midterm, if you're not understanding that meaning, like between the presidential elections. So since it's 2018, we're in the middle of like the 2016 and 2020 elections. So since we're in the midterm, this is actually like really important election. You would think that like presidential elections are the most important, and they are pretty important, they're significant, but there's other parts of government that are really important that we have to vote on in the midterm. In the case of Utah and in Salt Lake City, we had a lot of things to vote on. Like I think last year on our ballot we had one thing to vote on because it was like 2017. It wasn't like a presidential election, it wasn't like a midterm. In Salt Lake and in Utah, like we had like a lot of important things to vote for. I will like kind of go one by one, tell you like the results or whatever, kind of my thoughts on them, whether this is like a step in the right direction or whether like Utah is like still being a dumbass. Utah is known for being like a really conservative state. I would say the Salt Lake area is pretty liberal compared to the rest of Utah. So like all those like rural areas, those people are like conservative and they tend to vote different than we do. So certain things we voted on were like for all of Utah to vote on, and certain things were just like regional related, like your county or your whatever. So I'm gonna go through kind of the things that the results and like all that stuff. I think I said that already. For Senate, Utah chose Mitt Romney, and that pisses me off. I think everybody got to vote for that in Utah. And it just pisses me off because, okay, like, first of all, Mitt Romney, he is such a spineless douchebag of a man. Like, he was running for president, I think, in 2016 in the primaries, if I'm remembering that correctly. And he is much more respectable than Trump, for example. But that's like, you don't compare people to Trump, like, in a serious, like, evaluation of their politics or the character, anything like Trump's. Like, you don't want to be compared to him. Anybody would look good next to Trump. Based on that, like, I feel like Mitt Romney, like, is like the kind of Republican that like George Bush is. So they're like really regular, like 2012 type of Republicans, like traditional type, because like Trump is not a traditional Republican, even though he like runs as Republican. I wouldn't say he is a Republican. So I'm upset about Mitt Romney because I don't even think he like lives in Utah, you know? He has a house here, but he's never seen here. I feel like that's messed up that somebody who doesn't live in a state gets to be a senator and be making choices for that state. Like, that pisses me off. That makes me mad. Don't approve. Vote him out. So this just makes me mad because like I feel like there was a lot of Mormon voters here that like identified with him and thought he's gonna make like good Mormon choices for them, and that just like keep religion out of politics. Thank you. In Utah, we have 4 congressional districts, and if you're watching this and you're from Utah, comment down below what district are you in, because a lot of people don't even know. And like me and my friend were like college educated, intelligent women, and we did not know up until a few weeks ago what district we were in. Out of 4 congressional districts in Utah, 3 of them had a Republican win, which, I'm just so sick of that. Like, I want the blue wave to come, and I'm like, I told you, I'm not like a Democrat, but I swear, like, that's how we're gonna get away from this horrible culture and climate that we have that's just going so radically right that it's wrong. It's wrong. The only Democrat that actually won for the House was Ben McAdams, Democrat, and he won over Mia Love, which, like, that's a no-brainer, because, like, Mia Love, no, she's a no from me. Now, to get into, like, the different kind of propositions and, like, different things we had to vote on, or that, like, at least some of these things were, I think all these things were on my ballot. The first one, which is really sad. So question number 1 was about raising the gas tax, and the purpose of it was so that that money from gas would go towards education and building infrastructure and roads. And I was like so for this because, for one thing, I'm not a driver, I don't buy gas, and I'm overall supportive of any tax raise because I just think the more money that we can put into the government, the more we can get out of it. I'm not saying that we're guaranteed such a thing, but I don't want to harbor that distrust to the government in that way. Like, there's so many other ways to distrust the government, to be honest. But with taxes, like, we need better services, you know? Like, without parks and libraries and schools, like, we would have, like, a hollow shell of a society, like, compared, like, even to, like, we might already, in your opinion, whatever. But I supported gas tax. A lot of people didn't, and Utah voted against it. And, like, that's so typical because even in the city, it's so common for Utahns to drive cars and commute far distances, let alone people in actual I can't say that word, rural areas who will, like, have to drive exponentially farther, and they're not going to want to pay for, like, a road in Salt Lake City. Like, you feel me? I wish we were moving towards taxing more and caring more about what we get out of it, you see? One that I really want to tell you guys about, Prop 2. Like, I feel like, does anybody not know what Prop 2 is? So it is the medical marijuana bill that Utah has developed, and I feel like most of the people that talk about it and that are supporting it, I don't honestly think they've read it. Like, I went and I, like, tried to read all of it. I admit that, like, the parts where I read the entirety of it was honestly to do with the patient part of it, because I kind of wanted to know who qualified and what the terms of it were. I didn't read all the terms for, like, the people who are running the dispensaries and that side of it, because I'm, like, don't intend to, like, run a dispensary. Like, maybe I should think of that, actually. But, yeah, so I was, like, totally for it because the main point of it, it's not, like, what people think it is. People think it's, like, gonna look like other states' medical marijuana programs. I don't know what to call it, like, laws or whatever. It's much more restricted, and it's really geared towards patients and, like, people who are using it as medicine. Like, there's really not any ways for you to use it recreationally under Prop 2, because you have to have, like, very, very specific qualifying conditions, and I don't even think they allow smoking it, so I think it's only going to be available in, like, edible form and vape. So people who want to use it recreationally, I don't think would actually be able to, but I still support this because it's like helps people who it could make a difference between their life and death, you know? And it makes a difference between them getting like hooked on like pain pills and like horrible prescriptions. Just like I think there's so much good in it, even as limited as it is. And once it like has the foundation, then it can always be amended to like be expanded. I think what they're trying to do is do like that compromise that they promised us, that they were talking about right before the election. They were trying to get people to not vote, saying that, oh, we're gonna compromise. But like, no, people spoke out. They wanted this. Like, I think it was not more than like 60%. I don't have the exact numbers on it. Somebody comment below what is the numbers on the Prop 2 vote. Honestly, I don't even know anybody personally who voted against it. That's how like popular it is. In the Salt Lake Valley, people overwhelmingly support that. I think it's just like rural, redneck, Mormon, whoever. I'm sorry if I'm offending you. I'm offended that you like vote against people who need life-saving medicine. Like, are you serious? That's so un-Christ-like, you know? Prop 3 passed, which is really awesome. It's an expansion for Medicaid to like make sure that more low-income people have access to healthcare. And as a low-income person who's been on and off of Medicaid and who would love to be on Medicaid right now, but I don't know if I qualify because I'm just used to like not having insurance. But I think this is a really great step in the right direction, and the people who voted for this are Christ-like. The fourth proposition was also passed, and God bless, because it is to redistrict the districts. Like, I don't know how to explain. So like, if you've ever heard of gerrymandering, that's like the concept of drawing maps in like such a specific, weird, like fucked up way that ensures that like a certain party is gonna win because they know the people in that weird area that they've drawn up are gonna vote like Republican. To be honest, that's like, I don't see like Democrats doing that, but I think this is gonna get like a third part, like an independent whatever committee together to like redraw them, which that is so awesome. Like, I'm so thankful for that because that is gonna enable real change, I believe. On the ballot, there were 3 constitutional amendments. So the first one had to do with giving an exemption to, I believe, military who serve out of state, an exemption from some amount of property tax in Utah, and typically like Utah voted for it. Personally, and I may not have had like enough knowledge or information about the military to know how to vote on this. Like, for me, I personally voted against it because my limited knowledge of the military is that they're given a lot of exemptions in other aspects. Like, for example, like when they go to school, they can get like a Pell Grant, like, what is it called? Is it called a Pell Grant? Or, oh, no, the GI Bill. I got a Pell Grant, and I'm not military. So the GI Bill, and just different things like that. I feel like there's so much already that is given to the military. Like, thank you guys for your service. But this is just one more thing that, like, I didn't see the need for it. Like, maybe somebody, like, comment down below, like, why did you vote for it? Like, help me understand. Constitutional Amendment B is also another exemption for property leased by a government entity, I can't say the word. I also voted against it because I'm thinking the same thought process. Like, the government, don't they already have like certain subsidies and things for leasing property? Like, I feel like I don't think that they need another exemption, and neither did the people of Utah. We all voted, well, not all, but like majority voted against it. The third one, which I voted one way, and then I received some information where I was like, oh, maybe I should have voted the other way, but I'm still unsure, so help me. The Amendment C was supposed to enable special sessions, and on the ballot, it made me believe that it's like for emergencies, and that like it made me kind of feel like, oh, if we don't do this, then it's like we're missing something important, or like we're not going to be able to meet if we really need to. So I voted like for it, but and it did pass for. But then I saw some stuff on Facebook, you know, like Facebook comments of people discussing their votes and stuff, and they were saying that it's going to cost all this money, and then they're like going to use this for their own special interests. And then it occurred to me, I'm like, what if they, you know, try to do their compromise, like their Prop 2 compromise in these sessions, but I don't know if that qualifies for it. I'm just like really confused about that. Like, so I don't really know if I should have voted the way I did. So help me down below, please engage with me. A couple other things that we had to vote for. Sheriff Rosie Rivera, I think she was already the sheriff. She's a Democrat. She's still the sheriff, and I don't really know much about her. Like, I've heard okay things. Yeah, I don't think I voted. Did I vote for that? I think I did. So the Salt Lake District Attorney, I think he already was Sim Gill. Still Sim Gill? No. Democrat. All these, like, kind of Salt Lake related things, like, tend to go Democrat, except, I don't know, like, I think I'm from District 2 and a Republican one, which, that's not cool. Salt Lake County Clerk is now Sherry Swenson again, like she already was the county clerk. I don't know even what a county clerk does. All I know is that, like, when we send our ballots to her, well, like we sent, like I said, I just said it, we send our ballots to her, like the address of like the person where we send our votes is Sherry Swenson. Okay, is that her name? Yeah, Sherry Swenson, the county clerk. So like, does she count our votes? Like, what's she do? She's cool. I don't know, man. Oh, I didn't even write this down, but I want to talk about this. The race between Ted Cruz, and don't mind us all coughing because we're all sick. Ew. Ted Cruz versus Beto O'Rourke. Freaking Beto lost, which, like, that's some bullshit because Ted Cruz allegedly is the Zodiac killer, so we don't need that. Allegedly. In case you didn't know, I'm Mexican, and it's important to me to, like, be represented as, like, Latinos. I don't like that word. I would love to see somebody represent my people, and I don't see that in Ted Cruz. He's so non-representative, especially of, like, the Latinos in Texas. Are you kidding me? Like, my family came from Texas. Like, I feel like some kind of weird, like, connection to them, even though I don't live in Texas. I never lived in there. But it's just, like, I wish, like, I feel like Beto, like, doesn't he, like, speak, like, fluent Spanish? Like, has anybody heard Ted Cruz, like, speak fluent Spanish? Like, and I can't talk because I don't either, but overall, like, in the nation, the exciting news or whatever, and it could be better than this, but we really have to take what we can get at this point. Like, after 2016, like, everything's just fucked up. So Democrats did take the House of Representatives, so that's kind of confusing because they call it different things. So that is Congress. So those 4 districts that we voted for Congress people, those make up the House. So overall in the country, Democrats rule the House, even though 3 out of our 4 Utah Congress people in the House are Republican, and we have 1 Democrat. So realizing, like, that, the kind of ratio, it seems like the rest of the country is hella more liberal than Utah. And we kind of, like, knew that, but just to reiterate, help you guys understand, like, because you guys might have, like, total knowledge of, like, parts of politics that I don't know nothing about, and then, like, we can, like, share knowledge and shit. Oh, I have to tell you too, so since the Democrats took the House, like, the Republicans were in control before, and they control the Senate, so they still control the Senate, but now there's, like, the Democrat House that hopefully can hold Trump, like, more accountable. The problem, though, and some, like, upsetting news I saw today was Nancy Pelosi. She was the Speaker of the House, so she has, like, some special responsibilities. Comment down below if you know what those are, because I don't really know. Like, I just know it's, like, a leadership position. I saw her, like, you know, meet with Trump and, like, make a lot of concessions and shit, like, both toward each other. And it just really sat wrong with me because I'm like, oh, she's supposed to be the Democrat, Speaker of the Democrat-controlled House and be the leader of the people that hold Trump accountable. Like, I'm hoping that they can, like, get her out and then, like, put somebody new in. Because that's kind of why, like, we haven't, like, made enough progress. Like, people like Pelosi and, like, I don't know, like, Hillary Clinton, like, those types of Democrats, like, make me really, like, disgusted with, like, the Democratic Party. So, I really want more progressives, like, representing us, because what we've had so far, I'm not with it. So, some successes, though, that we've had around the nation, I just wanted to, like, make some shout outs, and I hope I don't, like, say their names wrong, because I, like, wrote them down in chicken scratch. So, there's actually the first Native women, multiple women in Congress, Sharice Davids and Deb Haaland. I don't know if I'm saying that right, I'm sorry. So two of them, like, the two tied for the first. That's so cool. Like, I feel like I wish there was so many more Native people representing us, because literally we're in their land. Like, this is their land. Like, what? Like, they should have say over their own land. Like, the whole, like, ongoing colonization and, like, just misrepresentation, like, ethnic cleansing, like, it all makes me so sad. So I just want to see more Native voices reclaiming their power, repping over their land, like, making things better. Oh my gosh, I'm allergic to the truth. And then more exciting things, that's, like, kind of what we, like, similar to what we were just talking about. So the first Muslim women, so Rashida Tlaib, I don't know how to say that, Tlaib, and Ilhan Omar, they are the two first Muslim women in Congress. I think in Congress, I don't know, I didn't write it down. But that's, like, so cool. And again, with, like, anybody who is underrepresented, like, I would love to hear, like, more representation, especially for Muslims, because that's, like, the number one, like, misunderstood group in America. Like, I feel like most Americans, like, they call them, like, Muslims, and they don't understand anything about, they're just like anybody else, you know, they just have a religion, just like maybe you have a religion, maybe you don't, that's your choice to have one, and it shouldn't exempt you. If anything, every religion should be represented, as long as you keep your personal religion out of your policy decisions. That would be great. And not to say that those girls would do that, because I think they're totally fit for office. So the first openly gay governor, I don't know what state he's from, so comment down below. I just wish that we had a climate right now where everybody could be who they really are, just, like, be themselves and be unashamed and just live their lives. But it's so hard. Like, there's so much hate and violence in the world. We're really not, like, to where everybody can be open, and that just makes me so sad. So I hope we can move towards, like, a better world, like a more accepting world in that sense. In Tennessee, there's the first woman senator, Marsha Blackburn, so that's pretty cool. I don't really know much about, like, other states and their, like, politics and stuff, but that kind of blows my mind that, like, that's the first woman. Like, I guess we haven't had a woman president, so it makes sense, I guess, but it sucks. And then the first female senator in Arizona, and I don't know if they announced the results because it was so close, but it's either going to be Kirsten Sinema versus Martha McSally. I can't read my handwriting. So one of them, like, I don't know which one's going to win, but no matter what, it's going to be a woman, so that's pretty cool. And then there's, like, two more that I want to talk about. So Texas, the first Hispanic woman in Congress, which is, like, crazy to me because there's so many Latinos in Texas. Like, I can't believe it's been like this for so long that, like, we haven't had a woman. Like, what the hell? So, and then in South Dakota, the first woman governor, Kristi Noem. I don't know how to say her name. Noem? So that is, like, hella cool. I feel like so different, like, from that day when it was 2016, and it was the day after Trump got elected, and, like, no joke, the night of the election night, I think I had gone and, like, voted over because I didn't want to fill out my paper vote. I wanted to, like, go do it. And that night, normally I feel like people on election nights, they go and they get together and they watch TV and they'll, like, watch the results and they eat food together and they're like, oh, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna be our guy or their guy? And we're gonna celebrate and blah blah blah. Because, like, in 2008, we all went to my auntie's house. It was like me, my cousins, and my mom and everybody, and we were all watching Obama get elected, and it was so exciting. And, like, I don't think I'll ever feel like that again, you know, because I had so much hope, and, like, it was so exciting because, like, first black president, like, that's so amazing, and it's like it's finally time, like, you know, and it felt so good in that moment, and it just, like, made me crave change and, like, just really be optimistic. And, like, I felt like that for years. Like, I felt like that even in 2012, but, like, not as much because I was in college and I was learning a lot about politics and the world around me, global politics, American politics. I was, like, learning about it all, and I was kind of, like, realizing, wait a minute, like, I guess I have to vote for Obama because I don't want, like, what was it, McCain to win, or who was it Romney? Who was it in 2012? Comment below, I can't remember. Anyway, I was like, okay, I'm gonna vote for this guy, but then years later I was like, wow, this guy actually is not who I wanted to be in office, you know? Like, he had a Nobel Peace Prize, but yet he's, like, doing drone strikes on weddings and shit. Like, that just, I'm not with that, you know? That feels morally wrong to me. Like, morality is so important to me, and integrity, and like, it just sat so wrong with me. And then after, I think it was 2016 or sometime between 2012 and 2016, that I was like, I don't feel like a Democrat, like, I don't feel like a Republican, I don't feel like any of that, like, none of that meshes with my life, none of that, like, relates to me. And so I've had, like, a lot of harassment from, like, every side telling me I'm wrong, but, like, I'm just thinking for myself, like, it's hard to break the mold, whatever you want to call it, because, like, there's a lot of really intelligent people I know that, you know, they voted one way or the other, and they look down on me for, like, doing something different, which sucks because it doesn't make me any less, it just makes us different. So I feel like this year was so different because the morning of 2016, when I, like, woke up and was like, wait, what happened? Because when we went to bed the night before, like, we were kind of looking at the results, but we're like, oh god, like, did Trump, like, really win? Like, are you serious? And then everybody was so sad and just hopeless afterwards because we knew that, like, certain rights of ours were going to, like, be taken away, and that just, it would be, like, interfering in our lives in, like, the worst way. And just, not only that, but, like, the cultural shift afterwards is so ugly, so vile. Like, his rhetoric of, like, hatred and racism permeated so deep, like, it doesn't even matter whether he really believes what he says or not, but it empowers other people to expose their views on things that they would have never opened their mouth about. They would have never dared. Like, if you were to conduct yourself in 2008 or 2012 the way that people do today, like, the things that people would do to you. And the scary part is that, like, nobody's changed the way they thought. They've always thought that way. They've just kept it to themselves. And that's what's so ugly. It's like, I'm Mexican, and the things that people are saying about Mexicans, it's so hurtful. Like, these are my brothers and sisters. Like, it's so ugly to hear that. And then people look at me and they decide that I'm white because of, like, I mean, I am white, but the fact that they can't see my culture when they look at me, and then they say things that they think either I will agree with or that I will dismiss. Ugh, it's so ugly. And the things that people say to people of color and think they will like get away with it. It's so horrible. Like, it makes me so sad. Now more than ever, people need to be like raising up like marginalized groups, like all of them, you know? I'm hoping that like with this added diversity in our government and some of these choices that we made toward progress, like those do give me hope. Like, I totally don't feel today how I felt on that day in 2008, and I think I feel more passionately than in 2012 because I just wasn't very knowledgeable and I didn't care as much toward like true change. I was just kind of taking the path that people told me to take. I don't feel negative about this election. Like, I mean, it's so shitty that we have Mitt Romney and that Shireen, my dear Shireen in District 2, she didn't win, which I don't even know how because she had a cute bear in her video. Like, are you serious? I'm trying to like feel lighthearted about this, and I don't know. I just feel like there's like a little magic in the air. And I was like so hella motivated to tell you guys all about my opinions about it because I feel like in 2016, like, I was too bummed to like be aware of like what's going on. But I'm trying to like be really conscious and in the moment and like knowledgeable about how I'm like impacting the society around me. And I hope you are too. I hope you like this video. I'm so sorry it's long. I hope you watched the whole thing. You're super cool if you did. Make sure you like this video if you do. And if you don't mind, just subscribe to my channel, because then you can see my old video from 2016. You can see like my travel vlogs, and I think I made one other political video. Like, I don't really talk about it that much on YouTube. In real life, I'd be always talking about it because like I want change. So yeah, hit that notification bell too if you have subscribed. Share this video with your friends if you like. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Johnny, Johnny. You don't know what you're supposed to say? Say yes, Papa.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
Johnny, Johnny.
Yes, Papa.
Eating sugar.
No, Papa.
Telling lies.
No, Papa.
Open your mouth.
Ha ha ha.